Guyana's tourism product has been growing rapidly on the local level, while the country has been gaining recognition for its product on the international scene. The government of Guyana is committed to prioritizing the development of Guyana's tourism sector, more specifically community-based tourism. In this week's edition of Guyana 411, we will examine the draft tourism policy and some of the unique tourist attractions in a number of regions, which will develop the government's mandate towards fostering community-based tourism. Thank you for joining us on this program. I am Gabriella Patram, and this is Guyana 411. Guyana is internationally known for its unique brand of hospitality. This country's pristine rainforest is home for an exciting array of fauna and flora and untouched beauty. Our distinctive cultural heritage and natural attractions make Guyana an ideal destination for tourists. This year-round sunny summer-like weather is a major plus for tourists. However, our vast tourism potential can only be fully realized if there is a policy in place to guide its implementation, something that the government has prioritized.
The government believes that each of the 10 administrative regions of Guyana has the potential for community-based tourism. The draft tourism policy, which is the first of its kind locally, will cater for the tourism development of each region. Under the policy, Guyana will be displayed as the ideal tourist destination and will protect and govern the sector. The policy will also be a reference to guide the sector for the next 5 years and will be continuously reviewed to update recommendations. This policy aims to involve more Guyanese in promoting the country's tourism potential. The National Tourism Policy is currently in the consultative stages. Director General of Tourism Donald Sinclair says that the policy will focus primarily on enlightening residents of the regions on the economic impact of expanding tourism through ongoing training. Sinclair says that the National Tourism Policy will also address legislation and regulations towards promoting tourism across Guyana with regards to concessions, operations, infrastructure, human resource development, and promoting specific niche markets, among other areas.
The tourism policy is something that we never had. It's something that the industry and other stakeholders had been calling for. So this was drafted. The document is itself the result of widespread consultation, and the document is a collection of the results of consultations, consultants' reports, and other kinds of wisdom, tourism wisdom, that we have been receiving for the past 30, 40 years. That's all been compiled and presented in the National Tourism Policy.
Additionally, efforts to develop the tourism product and Guyana's image as a destination have to be done in accordance with what is determined to be its needs. Recently, in accordance with the policy of spreading tourism planning to all of the regions, the Ministry of Business, through its Department of Tourism, has begun conducting tourism planning workshops. The first region where the workshops was held is in Region 7. In the coming weeks, more will be held in others across the country.
The regional tourism workshops are in accordance with a provision in the policy for diffusing the planning of tourism, right, to the regions. So what starts tomorrow falls squarely within what the policy prescribes.
The National Tourism Policy, NTP, will also work to emphasize the role of tourism in providing jobs and boosting economic growth throughout Guyana. Within the tourism policy, Guyana is defined as Guyana, South America, undiscovered. And tied into that is the beauty of our rainforest, our savannas, our adventure tourism, and our leisure tourism. Guyana has already been using that branding in marketing this year.
Across the 10 administrative regions of Guyana, the regional stakeholders are at the drawing board to draft and implement a number of initiatives. 2 such regions are 7 and 10. These 2 regions are embracing the concept of sustainable tourism.
In the mining town of Linden, Sustainable tourism development is high on the agenda. Regional Chairman Renis Morian says the region has been working towards a tourism package in Linden for over 2 decades.
We have a river here. 95% of residents don't know what is happening 5 miles along this river. 95% of the residents. I see a tourism bonanza. 2 tourist boats. These boats do them a better, have a safety mechanism where you got to be passed by by MARAD, the Maritime Agency. You're in the river. People could be moving here Saturdays afternoon and Sunday afternoon. And let's say you're going down 5 miles. You're creating another business at the end of the 5 miles. At the end of the 5 miles, you got a claim with benches, you have a shop, you got washroom, people could go relax, spend, and that don't have to be your business. Your business could just be taking them there. And next person's business could be managing the site with the food and the drink, etc., etc. So I am trying to sell that to this community.
Additionally, the Upper Berbice, Upper Demerara region of Guyana, with Linden as its major center, is offering a number of fine destinations to nature lovers, bird watchers or tweeters, and eco-tourists, which foreign tourists may not want to miss whilst traveling to South America. The Linden Museum, the bauxite industry, the fish festival, and even the village of Rockstone are wonderful tourist attractions in addition to the mining sites.
And then you have, I could say, 75% of the residents have never seen the mines. And if you look at the mined out areas, and you take a picture, then tell somebody, well, this picture was taken in Colorado, they'd believe you. Or this picture was taken in New York, somewhere in the outback or somewhere, they'd believe you. It's so beautiful. Now here again, 2 buses. And here again, more apparatus could come into play. As like I said to one person, let's say you're starting from the regional office, and you're making your first stop at Block 22. You have persons there who are going to be there with a shed and whatever, and they have ice cold coconut water. They have Moby. We ain't going to no bottled drink. They have coconut water, Moby, ginger beer. We're going back to the old time buns. You understand? We're going back to just not people. So that's the first stop. That's business for that first stop. And you're going to take them to the mines. You got the mines folks bring out craft stuff and different things. It could work.
The business sector in Linden is expected to benefit from these initiatives too. The women, who are described as very talented with their hands, will benefit from the food industry in Linden. Residents in communities surrounding the mines would usually make art and craft items for sale. So another industry is set to benefit. These initiatives, among others, are part of the region's 5-year developmental plans, promoting Region 10's unique brand of community-based tourism. In the tongue of Bartica Region 7, which is described as the gateway to the interior, it is already renowned for its Easter Regatta and Easter Pageant, which attract both local and overseas tourists annually. Now, with Bartica becoming a new town, the regional office and the town council have undertaken a number of initiatives to promote and sustain tourism. One such developmental plan is the Golden Beach in Bartica. Mayor of Bartica, Gifford Marshall, says there is heavy traffic through Bartica and the Golden Beach is an ideal tourist destination. Upon completion, the beach will sport the added attractions of a number of mini-marts, rides for children, and musical entertainment.
Welcome again to the Golden Beach, and like indicated earlier, the boulevard that we're going to construct will be along this part here, and this is between 3rd and 4th Avenue, Bartico. Benches will be installed. Of course, we're going to be planting some trees. We will be planting some solar light, installing some solar lights, and of course, the mini marts.
Marshall says the beach will complement a weekend getaway or even a week's stay in the beautiful town of Bartica. Sustainable tourism in Region 10 and Region 7 will remain a high priority at all levels. Sustainable tourism continues to be a focus in Region 3 too.
The Ministry of Business, Department of Tourism is collaborating with the National Trust of Guyana to restore and preserve two of Guyana's prestigious historical sites. These sites are at Leg 1 and Hog Island in Region 3. The department plans to incorporate these sites into tours to attract tourists to the islands. They will highlight the islands and bring economic benefits.
Originally constructed in 1827, the St. Peter's Church, with its tiled sanctuary, massive brickwork, asphalted floor, architectural rafters, and windows portraying events in the life of the patron, St. Peter, testified to the artistry and the craftsmanship of Guyanese builders. Built of bricks, the church was originally covered by a roof of Wallaby shingles. This was later replaced by metal roofing. At the left of the northwestern entrance stands the detached bell tower, surrounded by an octagonal brick spire. The church, which is still operational, was first opened for service on December 9, 1827, almost a century ago. St. Peter's Church is located on 10,843 acres of land. With its artistic design and leaning tower, it is regarded as one of the finest brick structures ever constructed locally. A recent site visit to the church by Minister of Business with responsibility for tourism, Dominic Gaskin, saw him noting that the church is a part of Guyana's colonial history.
Well, we're in Region 3 and we're enjoying yet another one of Guyana's historical attractions. This is an old Dutch windmill on Hog Island, and we just came from Leg 1 where we visited, among other places, the St. Peter's Anglican Church, as well as a statue of the god Hanuman, a concrete statue that was recently completed. But between those three attractions, I call them attractions, I think they all have some value for tourism. The whole package makes quite a nice day trip, or even shorter than that. It could even be a half-day trip. You can leave from Georgetown, come to Parika, take a boat to Leg 1, visit the church, visit the statue, get back on a boat, come to Hog Island, visit the windmill, and then maybe have lunch somewhere, head back to town. But the attractions do have historical value. They're of significance to Guyana's history, as well as European history and even South American history. And it's just one of many attractions that we have in Guyana that we need to be more aware of, familiarize ourselves with, and try to promote whenever possible.
Part of our colonial tapestry has been woven by the Dutch. When they settled on the island initially, they named it Varken Island for the numerous wild hogs found. Varken means hog or pig in Dutch, whilst Eiland means island. After the colony came under British rule in 1803, the English translation to Hog Island was adopted. On Hog Island in the Essequibo River, Region 3, there is the only known surviving brick windmill structure once used in sugar estates during that period. Windmills were important for sugar production and widely used in British Guyana and across the Caribbean region to crush cane to extract juice. The cut cane was then brought to the mills by slaves or donkey and cart. Inside, most slaves fed the cane through rollers to extract the juice. Whilst there is no record of the date when the windmills were first introduced into British Guyana, these structures were used in the Caribbean up to the latter half of the 17th century. The historic structure is described as beautiful and one which would make a wonderful tourist attraction. These two historical sites hold significant attraction for tourism for Region 3, which will bring financial benefits to each island and in turn be used by the community to further develop their tourism sectors.
The indigenous village of Maraicaba in Region 5 has a distinct attraction as a tourism destination. The Department of Tourism in the Ministry of Business, the Guyana Tourism Authority GTA, and other stakeholders have been assessing the village so that it can become a part of Guyana's tourism product.
The Region 5 location has been offered as the next tourism destination. A team of tour operators and expert bird guides visited the community to meet with residents to assess the tourism potential and ascertain the necessary help that would boost tourism in the area. The aim of the visit was in keeping with the mandate to diversify and develop tourism in Guyana, especially community-based tourism. The indigenous culture in the village is alive and rich. Tourists can visit and have the experience of seeing how residents extract juices from the cassava, among other traditional practices of the indigenous peoples. Director of the Guyana Tourism Authority, the GTA, Indranath Harold Singh, says there is the opportunity for the construction of benabs to provide additional traditional comfort for visitors.
Maracaibo is a community of just over 1,000 persons, mainly Arawaks. Our visit has been a very fruitful one so far. We have confirmed that yes, there is tremendous tourism potential in Maracaibo. The overland trek alone, the coming through, like this is like a sand trail, and it's kind of very unique, very different from the Pacaraima Mountain Trail or the South Rupununi Trail. So this is a new challenge too. Very adventurous trip, experiencing some of the adventures that would be done on a 4x4 safari. And so one of the things that we have seen right away is the opportunity that this creates for a new safari route. And we've always been saying that we're looking for new routes for the safari. So the Safari Club has just found a new route that they can do for more than a weekend.
Maracaibo residents are being praised for their skills in advertising their community's tourism potential. These include showcasing their natural flavors, arts, and paintings. Tushar Colin Andrews says that such an initiative will boost the community and create additional employment, especially for youths who have been migrating due to a lack of employment opportunities within the community.
I just trust that this would be the beginning of many trips to come. When I get the call in the office that they wanted to come and explore Maracaibo, I immediately took the advantage of it and invited the team to the community. Now they're here, they have experienced some of the things that I've told them, and they have witnessed it. And I heard the director of tourism state some of the experience he have, and I'm glad to hear that he stated that this will be a new route for the safari, because last year we had some bikers came in here and they were thinking in the same avenue, and not only the safari, they're having a trek also. Presently we're having a group walking from Uriala to Maracaibo, and 19 days trek. And if these can all come together and we can all make an annual event to this area, because you can discover the Antigua in this part of Guyana rather than traveling right up to Rupununi for 9 hours, just 3 hours away from Georgetown. You come in and experience some of the wildlife, like the anaconda. We have the Lokunani fish catching, and so you can even do some sport fishing. Even we have show them an area we have reserved to create a nature park, and all these things can come. So if we can get these things coming on board, it would boost our community so much and even create employment for the youth.
Andrews says that the emphasis has been placed on creating ecotourism and a new route for safaris, which would add to the opportunities for the hosting of national events. Further, Managing Director of Rainforest Tours, Frank Singh, says the community definitely presents an opportunity for tourism.
This is my first visit to Maracaibo. It's a village that shows it has tourism potential, and more of the tourism part, looking at the safari. It has a high gear-up. It has accommodation to accommodate at least 20 vehicles. And I'm looking at bringing a group of safarians in February during the March time. Other than that, the village, they're very hospitable, not like other villages. And it has a lot of potential in the sense that they have a variety of activities that you can do. The activities you can do: fishing, board watching, they got cultural presentation, and as I say again, the safari.
The community recently hosted a group of tourists when the first wetland drive convoy drove into Maracaibo. This first drive saw a convoy of 10 vehicles and 8 motorcycles assembled at Yarrow Cabra on the Linden-Suzac Highway, then driving and riding through the wetlands along the trail to reach Maracaibo one day later. During the drive, Guyana's exotic flora and fauna could have been seen. Numerous pictures and selfies were taken and shared across a number of social media platforms. The wetland drive lasted for 2 days over wet sand and swamps, which made it exciting. The introductory drive was to establish the trails the tourists can traverse to reach Maracaibo.
A better turnout, more sponsors, more sponsors, having more people to come, foreigners, and so to show them the beauty of the savannas and the people that live within these savannas, the Amerindian people, and there are lots of farmers and things there that are struggling, that would like people to pass through the farms, pick up, you got coconuts, different kind of cash crops.
For Tushau Colin Andrews, the drive was welcome. He saw the event as one which would open up economic opportunities for the communities.
I find it creating like avenues for my people whereby the crafters can benefit, the dancing group can be benefit of it, the guest house is being benefit. So they have things coming into the community. And if this, what I'm looking for is to like try to elevate the young people and see this as a drive that can able to take the community to the next level.
Tourists who completed the drive spoke about their experiences.
Yesterday was a little bit rough. It was a pretty deep trail in some places, and probably the biggest challenge was getting separated from each other. And if you ain't following right behind someone, then you really can't see how deep something is or the best way through it. So there's a bit of organization we could work on.
This is the first time on this trail, and I think this is the first time on any rough terrain I've ever ridden before. It was good. The trail was a bit rough, tough, a lot of dead sand, a lot of water, but once you hold yourself together and you focus on what you're about to do and the task ahead, it's very, very easy.
First time on this trail, but I have some off-road experience. This was a tough trail. A lot of dead sand, a lot of loose areas, a whole lot of water, but the bikes did it. We had no problem with coming in, had no breakdowns, but it was a beautiful trail.
This beautiful village will continue to receive the attention of the relevant stakeholders to develop the Maracaibo tourist product. A similar visit was made to St. Cuthbert's Mission, Region 4. Plans are also underway to visit other communities. These include Warapuka, Region 1, Oriala in Region 6, and communities in South Rupununi, villages in Region 8, and other areas where there is great community-based tourism potential. Another tourist attraction that is being looked into is the Pacaraimers Mountain Safari, or PMS. The adventure of a lifetime entails traveling via 4x4 vehicles across Guyana's administrative regions of 4, 8, 9, and 10, starting below sea level and reaching approximately 3,800 feet above. The journey takes approximately 4 to 5 days through rough terrain, covering some 600 miles, passing more than 25 Amerindian villages before reaching its destination of Orindok Falls on the Guyana-Brazilian border.
In the garden city of Georgetown, there are a number of places that a tourist can visit to view colonial architecture and enjoy Guyanese culture, food, and most of all, the hospitality of our people. Let's take a look.
St. George's Cathedral is an Anglican cathedral in Georgetown, Guyana, and one of the tallest wooden buildings in the world, at a height of 43.5 meters or 143 feet. This is part of our colonial tapestry. St. George's Cathedral is also part of our British legacy. It is located between Church Street and North Road in Georgetown and is one of the national monuments. It is the seat of the Anglican Bishop of Guyana. St. George's Cathedral was designed by Sir Arthur Bloomfield and opened on 24 August 1892. The building was formally completed in 1899. Renovations are currently ongoing on the cathedral. This Anglican church is part of Guyana's tourism product. Tourists can visit the church and view the beautiful decor stained glass windows which tell the story of Jesus' crucifixion. The pipe organ on the inside will leave any tourist that visits in awe. Additionally, whilst there, tourists can also take the time to say a prayer. The Stabroek Market. Stabroek was the name of Georgetown between 1784 and 1812. The town was established in 1782 during a brief occupation by the French of Demerara. The original name of Longchamps was changed to Stabroek in 1784 after Nicholas Jelvik, from 1732 to 1787, Lord of Stabroek, the then president of the Dutch West Indian Company. The city's name changed again in 1812 when, under British rule, it became Georgetown. A ward of the city, 1/4 of a mile long and 1 mile broad, retains the name Stabroek. Tourists can visit the bustling commercial area of the Stabroek Market Square. The market is a major landmark in the capital city of Georgetown. A tourist would be hard-pressed to miss the huge clock housed in a red and white tower with a canopy running the length of the edifice. This area is always teeming with vendors hawking their wares in a distinctly Guyanese style. Tourists can purchase anything from fruits, vegetables, watches, clothes, gold, shoes, or even have their favorite beverages whilst taking in the atmosphere. The Guyanese culture is rich and alive in this bustling, beautiful area. Brickdam is the oldest street in Georgetown. A tourist walking or driving will have a lovely view to taking views of a number of buildings and monuments. The street has the Parliament buildings where the laws of the country are passed, churches which speak to every denomination of the Christian religion, and mosques. The Stabroek Market, where tourists can purchase whatever they may need at the time, is also on this roadway. On Upper Brickdam, there is the Independence Ground which speaks to the country entering a new era. This is flanked by a monument which is equipped with lights and is being used as the perfect wedding background, or even if you just want to rest your feet for a while. Across from this arch there is coffee, which is often described as the protector of the street. This is also known as the 1763 Monument. The city provides a wave of social activities that form an integral part of the country's unique hospitality. Guyana's weather, which is sunny throughout the year, is also a tourist paradise. Then there is the nightlife, which offers a wide array of entertainment. Whether you decide to put on your heels and dance the lovely soca, Latino, chutney, and calypso music at one of the city's numerous nightclubs, you will discover that Guyana's nightlife is never a boring one. The seawall is a 280-mile wall that runs along much of Guyana's coastline and the entire coastline of Georgetown. It protects settlements in the coastal areas, most of which are below sea level at high tide. On any given Sunday evening, the atmosphere at the seawalls is one that is inviting, comfortable, relaxing, and family-oriented. Adults can enjoy their favorite beverages while chatting with friends and families, and children can play, enjoy rides and fun activities whilst indulging in their favorite foods and drinks, all in the atmosphere of the cool Atlantic winds. Blessed with 6 cultures merged together by the independence of one people, Guyana can be described as a multi-ethnic, multicultural society. Whether it is celebrating the Amerindian Heritage Month or Mashramani, Diwali or Pagwa, Eid ul-Azha, Emancipation or Christmas, you will find every Guyanese participating and experiencing each other's traditions.
The United Nations 70th General Assembly has designated 2017 as the International Year of Sustainable Tourism for Development. With more than 1 billion international tourists now traveling the world each year, tourism has become a powerful and transformative force which is making a genuine difference in the lives of millions of people. The potential of tourism for sustainable development is considerable. As one of the world's leading employment sectors, tourism provides important livelihood opportunities, helping to lessen poverty and drive inclusive development.